Hey everyone, this is Cullah Hale from Destination Thrills, and I am very excited to present to you the Great Coasters International Tournament. We just held this on my Instagram page last week, and the final results came in on Sunday. I really wanted to put this video out on Monday, but I've been sick all week long, and honestly, I couldn't do a voiceover. It would have sounded horrendous. Probably worse than what it sounds like right now, so bear with me. I'm still getting over my flu, it's not fun. But I figured you guys wouldn't care about what my voice sounds like, you just want to know the results of the battle, and so here I am to present them. If you don't know, Great Coasters International builds some fantastic wooden rides, some very modern wooden roller coasters. They bring you that classic coaster feel with that modern layout, so you have a lot of high-speed turns, some quick sudden drops, a lot of those maneuvers that you might not have seen much of in the classic wooden coaster. Now, this tournament is going to be focused on North American GCI coasters, and I know I get asked a lot to do more European, more worldwide content, and trust me, I do want to get there at some point. Just right now, a large majority of my audience is in North America, so I didn't think it would be fair to do a tournament where my audience would be voting and then add in coasters from Europe or Asia, just because I didn't think those coasters would have a fair shot in this duel, because the majority of my audience probably has not had the chance to ride them yet. So I did want to narrow my focus down just to North America for this tournament, but trust me, as my audience grows, and hopefully I start getting more international subscribers and followers on Instagram, I will definitely open up my tournaments to worldwide coasters. So we'll get there. I just want to start right now realistically and go with the North American GCI coasters. All right, so with that said, let's get right into our bracket. And let's start out on the left side. We had American Thunder at Six Flags St. Louis taking on White Lightning from Fun Spot America. Winner will take on Mystic Timbers in the quarterfinal round. Then we had Prowler at Worlds of Fun taking on Roar at Six Flags America. Winner of this battle would go on to face Thunderhead at Dollywood. Then we have Lightning Racers, a dueling GCI coaster at Hershey Park, taking on the newest kid on the block, Invadr, at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Winner of this matchup will face Renegade at Valley Fair. And then finally, on the bottom right portion of our bracket, we have Apocalypse the Ride at Six Flags Magic Mountain versus Kentucky Rumbler at Beach Bend. Winner of this matchup would go on to face Gold Striker at California's Great America. Alright, so before we get into our results, I just want to thank everybody who participated in this battle over on our Instagram story. If you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and give us a follow there. That is where we post all the information on upcoming battles, and that is where we do all the voting. So we will likely have another tournament coming up in a couple weeks, so stay tuned on our Instagram pages for that. And now that we have unlocked community posts here on YouTube, we will also let you know here when we're doing a battle as well. So keep an eye out for that. We have another one coming up very soon. Anyway, let's get right into our results. So our first matchup was American Thunder versus White Lightning, and American Thunder easily won with 71% of the vote. Moving on to the bottom left part of the bracket, we had Prowler versus Roar, and Prowler won with 76% of the vote, so another convincing win by a Missouri GCI coaster. I wonder what would happen in this tournament if Ozark Wildcat was still around. Interesting thought. Anyway, random. Moving on to the top right portion of our bracket, we have Lightning Racers versus Invadr. This was a closer matchup. And Lightning Racers just beat out Invadr 57% to 43%. So interesting close first round matchup. Finally, we had Kentucky Rumbler versus Apocalypse, and Apocalypse wiped out Kentucky Rumbler 76% of the vote. So we have our quarterfinal matches set. Let's see who won those matches. All right, so our first quarterfinal matchup was Mystic Timbers versus American Thunder. I've actually had the chance to ride both of these coasters, and I do slightly prefer Mystic Timbers to American Thunder. Honestly, I'm one of those in the camp where I think Mystic Timbers is a little overrated. Not to say that I didn't like the ride, I actually enjoyed my night ride. Also, I do have a lot of memories with American Thunder that might be clouding my judgment, so I did vote American Thunder in this one, but I was obviously outnumbered because Mystic Timbers won with 82% of the vote. Moving on to Prowler versus Thunderhead. This matchup was actually really close. Thunderhead just beating Prowler 53% of the vote. So close battle in our quarterfinal matchup. All right, moving on to our next matchup, we have Renegade versus Lightning Racers. I've heard really amazing things about Renegade. I haven't had the chance to ride it, but a lot of the people that I know that like the same coasters that I do say that Renegade is phenomenal and that I'm going to absolutely love it. So definitely a bucket list coaster. So I think Renegade's going to win this if enough people have been out to Valley Fair to ride Renegade. So that might be the little caveat here in this vote, but let's see who won. And the winner is Renegade with 66% of the vote, so a convincing win for Renegade at Valley Fair. Moving on to the semifinals. All right, last matchup in our quarterfinals is Apocalypse versus Gold Striker, and it looks like Gold Striker wins 70% over Apocalypse and moves on to our semifinal. So we have our semifinal matches set, and the losers of the quarterfinal rounds will actually face off in a consolation bracket, which we will get into right now. It looks like we will have American Thunder versus Prowler. The two Missouri GCIs are going to go head to head here. I'm very excited for this matchup. That will make up the left side of our consolation bracket. And then on the right side, we will have Apocalypse the Ride taking on Lightning Racers. The losers in both matchups will square off for 7th place, and the winners will meet in the 5th place round. Moving on to our semifinals, and again, nothing too shocking here. We have Mystic Timbers versus Thunderhead, and then we have on the right side, Renegade versus Gold Striker. So let's start out with our consolation bracket matchups. Again, we have Prowler versus American Thunder. I'm very excited for this matchup just because it's my home state GCIs going head to head. And personally, I favor Prowler just because of the night ride. The night ride on Prowler is just so good. I mean, I was absolutely blown away last year when I had my first night ride on Prowler. American Thunder has been in my heart for years. It was the coaster that got me over my fear of roller coasters, and I've loved it ever since. But as far as intensity, aggression, and those wow rides, I think Prowler really does it for me over American Thunder. So let's see what you all chose, and the winner is Prowler with 63% of the vote, taking out American Thunder and moving on to our 5th place matchup. Let's see who will be facing off against Prowler. Apocalypse versus Lightning Racer. Again, I haven't been on either, and I don't know too many people that have been on both, especially since Apocalypse got that extensive retracking. So really, in my mind, it could be anyone's race. So let's see who wins, and it is Apocalypse at Six Flags Magic Mountain. So that coaster will move on to face Prowler for 5th place, and then we'll have Lightning Racers versus American Thunder for 7th place. All right, time for the juicy stuff. We're going on to the semifinals. We have the first matchup, Mystic Timbers versus Thunderhead. Now, I expect this battle to be close. I know there are a lot of fans of Thunderhead, and there are tons and 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 tons of fans of anything to do with Kings Island, especially Mystic Timbers. I know a lot of people whose home park is Kings Island that absolutely rave over Mystic Timbers. Again, I'm not a hater. I just don't see the extreme rave over it. It's my number 3 at the park. But I still thought it was a phenomenal ride. Now, Thunderhead, on the other hand, blew me away. Is Thunderhead much rougher? Yes, but I personally don't get bothered too much by that unless it is absolutely unbearable. Let's see who won, and surprisingly for me, maybe not for you all, but Mystic Timbers wins with 84% of the votes, so pretty much a landslide victory for Mystic Timbers, and it is moving on to our championship round. The other part of our semifinals was Renegade versus Gold Striker, another matchup that I thought was going to be very close. I haven't been on either of these coasters, but I've heard a lot about them. When people talk about GCIs, I always hear about Mystic Timbers, Thunderhead, Gold Striker, and Renegade. These are the four that come to mind when we're talking about North American GCI coasters. It was no surprise that these coasters made it to the semifinals. So again, I expect a tight race, and Gold Striker actually wins with 70% of the vote. And so Gold Striker will be moving on to face Mystic Timbers in our championship round. And we will have Renegade versus Thunderhead for third place. All right, it is time for our championship rounds. Again, I have not seen the results yet, and I'm very excited to see who won this tournament. I think I have a good idea, just the way that Mystic Timbers won with 80+% of the vote over Thunderhead. To me, that shows the strength of Mystic Timbers in this tournament. It might absolutely blow by Gold Striker in the championship, but let's go ahead and get to our results and see if that happened. All right, for 7th place, we have American Thunder versus Lightning Racers. Our winner of 7th place is American Thunder with 60% of the vote to 40%. So American Thunder wins 7th place. All right, let's jump quickly to our 5th place battle. We have Prowler versus Apocalypse, and I feel like I do have a very decent amount of SoCal voters, especially I just released the Six Flags Magic Mountain Next Coaster video, which I guess I'll just kind of shamelessly plug that in the top right corner there. But after that video dropped, I did see a significant increase in followers from Southern California, so I kind of wonder if a lot of them had a chance to vote in this tournament. If so, I think that could give the edge to Apocalypse here, but let's go ahead and see who won. And the winner of 5th place is, by the narrowest of margins, Apocalypse with 51% of the vote. And this is how close the vote tally was. It was 92 votes Apocalypse to 87 for Prowler. So again, a very close matchup, just separated by 5 votes. So let's get into Renegade versus Thunderhead. Again, this is one I expect to be close as well. And the winner is, for 3rd place, Renegade at Valley Fair, taking out Thunderhead, 62% of the vote. Renegade takes 3rd place over Thunderhead. So finally, it is time for our championship matchup. We have Mystic Timbers versus Gold Striker at California's Great America. Again, I've been on Mystic Timbers, have not been on Gold Striker. I really wish I had the chance to ride it before this tournament, so I could pick which one I thought was better, but I'm interested to see what you guys voted. As I mentioned earlier, I think Mystic Timbers has shown that it is the strongest coaster just by the way it's been winning, the margins it's been winning by. So I really think Mystic Timbers is favored in this matchup just by the results we've seen so far. But let's see who you all chose. And the winner of the Great Coasters International Tournament is Mystic Timbers with 64% of the vote over Gold Striker's 36%. And the final vote total for this matchup was 123 votes for Mystic Timbers and 68 for Gold Striker. So congratulations to Mystic Timber, Kings Island, and its fans for winning the Great Coasters International Tournament. Again, I just want to thank everyone who participated in this tournament. These tournaments do not happen without you guys. You make this all possible, so I am very grateful, and I'm very thankful that we have been able to increase the participation of these battles. If you haven't, like our Instagram page, that's where we'll post all of our battles, and don't forget to subscribe here at Destination Thrills on YouTube so you can see all the latest theme park battles, news, and content. Again, thank you for watching this video. Congratulations to Mystic Timbers for winning the GCI tournament. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm Kalahale Benz. Don't get sick. Wash your hands, guys. Bye.